gore comforted me. And the whole thing is that I was in a bad mental space, right? You know, I was being bullied and I didn't have anyone to rely on. And I tried to get the help that I wanted, but sadly wasn't able to, you know. No matter what I tried, I wasn't able to get the help that I genuinely wanted. You know, I wanted connection with people. I wanted someone to hear me, but it took me very long for me to actually get that help. And luckily I was able to get it. But during those years where I was basically, I guess, alone for myself, during those years where I was basically alone, I would watch gore because I thought to myself, you know, maybe the bullying and all this terrible shit that literally makes up my whole world, which was just, you know, elementary school, because school is something you do every single day for many hours a day. You'll see people every day for like the next couple years, right? Most likely, that was my whole world. And it made me realize that, you know what, maybe what I was going through wasn't so bad, that, you know, I'm not in the situations where I have family members or friends, people that I care about, that are in pain or getting hurt because they weren't able to pay money to like a cartel, you know what I mean? And it didn't really help that for some reason other people also started to, you know, spread gore, you know, talk about the websites they were hosted on, and they talked about it as if the lives of these people didn't matter. And I think it kind of woke me up to the realization that, you know what, maybe it's my generation or just people that I were just, or maybe it was just the people that I was around. They don't care about other people, you know? They care about maybe the people around them, people that they actually care about, people they know the names of, but everyone else doesn't really matter, you know? I think at the end of the day, especially with the internet, you can see that these kind of crimes, you know, the hate crimes, you know, bombings, you know, terrible things, murder, homicide, that kind of stuff, you're seeing it every single day on the news because that's what gets clicks. And the stress that you have in your neighborhood or in your city or your, like, you know, little town is what keeps you watching, and it gives these companies so much money because your attention is more valuable than you as an actual person. Because at the end of the day, I feel like we ourselves, the people, are starting to see other people, our neighbors, as maybe just another statistic, you know, a smoking death, another suicide, or another murder, like I mentioned before. And this realization was only strengthened when I started to realize once I got into high school and I got the help I needed, that there were people who just watched gore just because, you know, it was their entertainment. They thought it was like fun, you know, funny kind of thing. And, you know, maybe to some really fucked up people it was. And there are also people who, you know, post videos about these kind of things on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure most of them, or good chunk of them, are still available. And although they do, you know, censorship and all that kind of stuff, they're still able to post these kind of videos, and there are little to no regulations because maybe the YouTube, you know, algorithm just doesn't want to punish that kind of shit, which is so fucked up. It's like, man, you guys can allow brain rot, and you know what, brain rot's are bad. The kids are getting stupid. I'm telling you, man, my little cousin, he's not doing too good. Hopefully we can, you know, get him outside and go make him play soccer or something, but they need to like crack down on the actual shit that's happening. You know, these murders and these terrible things that happen to these people, they're just being ignored, and now they're just a fact of life for everybody. Don't you see how fucked up that is? You know, you have the war in Iran right now, right? The Arab nations basically are at war with the Jews, right? These people have hated each other for so long. It's in their, you know, ancient text or whatever the hell you want to call it. The Quran, I think it's called, for the Arabs, the Muslims. And the Jews, the people that believe in Judaism, are just, you know, Jews that are born. But it's crazy that these people are just killing each other because their forefathers, people before them, told them to do that. Or how the US is doing this right now, bombing and killing innocent people in Iran. I mean, look, there are terrorists everywhere in the world, and maybe some people generalize people as, you know what, you have this kind of skin color, maybe you're a terrorist. I'm not someone that would say that. I want to believe that there's good in these kind of people because I've seen the terrible things people have done, and I want to believe that there's better things, better people in the future. And I want to see that now in the present, and I want to see what we can actually get if we genuinely come together. And I know it's really corny, but why are we doing this? You know, there are talks about them developing a nuclear weapon in Iran, right? But they've been saying this for the past like decade, maybe even 2 decades. And for some reason now we're going to war based off like a promise that, oh, these people are doing horrible. And then and then the US, my country, goes and kills their leader. But the thing is, their religion and everything is so intertwined that them killing their leader is like a he basically resembled and signified the religion of Islam. And these people didn't know what to do. And now they put his son into power. And look, at the end of the day, these people are going to die because this nation said, you know what, we don't like you. We generalize you as all these terrible people. And now everyone is going to be suffering. Even the people who aren't at war, they're going to be they're going to be scared. They're going to be fear every single day that they might get bombed, right? The UAE, Dubai, you know, big city, very nice. All the rich people, all the assholes go there. And, you know, they're seeing missiles, they're seeing these kind of things happening. And they're trying to spread propaganda so other people can start visiting, like us from nations that have a lot of money. Go over there, spend your money, and you'll be safe. You won't have to worry about anything. And no one's talking about it. Another thing is the war in Ukraine. Maybe 4 or 5 years ago, that was the big thing, right? They were talking about it every single second they could on the news. But now, you'll see now, there are very, if any, news articles that are maybe in English or just pushed into the mainstream that are actually being talked about. These people's lives, people that are dying, these families that are being torn apart, these refugees coming to different countries are being ignored. No one cares about it because you want to know why? It's old news, and sadly, we're so desensitized to death and gore, these kind of people that maybe we'll never meet, but humans nonetheless, people that are just like us. Maybe they speak different languages, but they're no less human than us. You know, they're not animals, they're people as well. And now they're just being pushed aside because it's boring news. You know, we don't care anymore about this country. It's old news. Now we care about fucking fighting wars across the world based on like promises or like talks that someone made with little to no evidence. It's like, what the fuck is happening to this country? You know what I mean? And I'm sorry that I'm getting, you know, super political and talking about it. And I apologize if I made any, you know, sort of mistakes, you know, on the religions, you know, Islam, Muslims, all that kind of thing. I apologize about that. But like genuinely, and the thing is, I was so stuck in my echo chamber when I was like a kid, you know, all this terrible content I was consuming. Now, as an adult, you know, the ideas of hurting myself are still in the back of my mind, but at the end of the day, I know that I'm going to try every single day to genuinely get better, or to at least have other people understand that, look, you know, maybe our country has a great sort of history and we're proud to be who we are. But at the end of the day, can you really agree what's happening now in the US? I mean, do you see what's happening? People are dying and no one gives a fuck anymore. And I'm not some holier than thou kind of person. I'm genuinely not. But it's just something that we're going to take as a fact of life, as a matter of life, that it doesn't matter if people die anymore. Do we just don't care about each other? Do you not care about your neighbor? You know what I mean? We used to be so close and now we're nothing to each other. I have neighbors that literally board up like their windows and shit because they just don't want to be seen or perceived. Genuinely, what is happening to the US? What's happening to our generation, Gen Z? And I wish I had the answer, but I don't. And maybe you'll have something you can say in the comments. I'd appreciate that. But genuinely, what is happening? Thank you for watching, though. I really do appreciate it.